Prior to 1820, the major issue in Congress with respect to slavery was banned north of the Ohio River. The plan was to keep the number of free states and slave states equal. Slavery was banned because the Northerners said they didn't need slaves, but the Southerners wanted slaves, so they divided the North and South in half. Once Alabama admitted as a slave state, Congress made both sides equal again. But what about Missouri? Missouri lies north of where the Ohio River flows into the Mississippi River. The South was afraid that when Missouri admitted as a free state, they wouldn't have a chance to defeat Congress with slavery. In 1820, Maine began asking to enter the Union as a free state. In the end, Maine admitted as a free state once they joined the Union. Louisiana was banned slavery forever, but after a while, Congress started slavery again because slavery was okay in the document that they were in the South. In the 1820s, after the religious revival thought that slavery issues should be brought up to topic, many abolitionists who didn't want slavery flooded into the nation's capital with petitions to ban slavery. Some abolitionists would write newspaper articles, books, and speak at public meetings. William Garrison was a publisher of the newspaper called The Liberator, and Frederick Douglass was a publisher of the North Star. Later in 1848, America bought California, New Mexico, and Utah in the Mexican Secession. The debate was, would they be slave state or free states? California applies as a free state while Congress is debating whether or not they are. New Mexico and Utah were open to slavery. During this time, slave states and free states were debating over Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, should have slavery or no slaves. In the Compromise of 1850, D.C. was said that there couldn't be any slave trade, but slavery is okay. A fugitive slave law was passed, and the Northerners had to return runaway slaves to the South.
Say that we can't use cell phones but I think that is a bad rule because that rule was made when cell phones were only used to text and call. Now there are apps that help you with school a lot. For example, Google Classroom is an app you can have on your phone. We have computers with us every day in class, and if the computer dies, then we have to go out to a corner and charge the computer. But if we have the app on our phone, we can go on our phones and keep doing work. Some teachers say it's a trust issue because if we have computers, it's a trust issue too because we can just play games without them knowing. I'm willing to make a compromise with this rule. Since now phones have apps that really help with school, I think we should be able to use our phones in certain classes like math and English or other classes if teachers is okay with it. The reason why I say math because there are really good apps like Khan Academy and that can help us with teaching lessons and with answering and showing work for questions that need calculators. Our phones can be really helpful with English because if your computer dies, then we have to sit away from the class and let it charge. But with our phones, we can get to the Google Docs app and continue typing. Another reason to have phones in class is that research says that people work better when they are listening to music of their choice. When the students are working with headphones, the teacher can get work done and not get disturbed. But it's quiet and students will be doing their work. I really think having phones during class will be a major improvement for teachers and students.
Scott traveled with his owner to Wisconsin Territory, which was a free territory. In 1857, Dred Scott sued for his freedom. He argued that since the Missouri Compromise had banned slavery in Wisconsin, he was now a free man. There were 9 justices, 5 from the South, 4 from the North. The law in question was the African Americans were not citizens, they were property. The 9 justices then got together and voted that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional. The Dred Scott decision served as an eye-opener to the Northerners who believed that slavery was tolerable as long as it stayed in the South. If the decision took away any power in Congress once had to regulate slavery in new territories. These once spectac reasons reason, slavery could quickly expand into much of the western United States, and once slavery expanded into the territories, they could quickly spread once free states.